Welcome to episode 335 of Game Deflators Podcast. My name's John, and I'm joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody, here at the Game Deflators Podcast, we like to talk about games we've recently picked up, games we're currently playing, and we switch things up in this episode of the Game Deflators.
So we're going to be talking a little special midweek episode, Nintendo Switch 2. This will be released actually tonight, so we'll get that out right away once we're done recording here. And for you,
Can't be
it'll
late.
Well, yeah, for everybody listening, it's, they're going to think, we're talking past tense right now, Ryan, but future tense, we're talking Switch 2. So let's get into it. We'll try and make this pretty quick in general, our overall thoughts. Switch 2 Direct happened today, April 2nd, with a price point of $449.99. I don't think that surprised many. It didn't surprise me, at least. And then a bundle of Mario Kart at $500 or pre-orders coming out on April 9th and a release of June 5th.
I was really hoping for like the $400 price point, but I mean, what you gonna do?
Well, I was gonna try and make a Sega Nintendo joke there, but yeah, Nintendo don't joke around with their prices apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a big direct today. There was like just so much kind of coming at you. So we're gonna be going through the. We looked up IGN. We're just gonna go down their list, talk a little bit about most of the things that we saw today and what we thought about it.
Yeah, so I'm literally gonna be like looking at a screen here, just kind of going off of it for those that are watching. But Nintendo Switch 2 has now 4K support with HDR. That to me was nice, along with 120 frames per second. When you're playing docked, it's 1080p. On the handheld mode with, I think it was 60 frames per second, if I recall, or did I reverse that? Is it 1080p, 120 frames per second? No, I'm looking at 4K resolution and plays up to 120 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a nice welcome surprise. But what I wasn't a big fan of was the storage. And you were kind of talking to me with me about this a little bit ago. 256 gigabytes, in my opinion, is insulting at this point, considering where we are with storage sizes.
They're game sizes.
2026, we're getting like 50 terabyte hard drives, right? You can get a 10 terabyte hard drive right now for like the 180 to 200 mark. So, and I'm using that loosely, but when you kind of start scaling down, the cheaper it gets, right? So I was just looking at like NVMe drives, 1 terabyte size for like $60. So
well, how big is it?
A terabyte.
No,
$60
physically.
Oh, like it's like a card. I mean, like 5 inches. So
yeah. So I mean, you got to make it microscopic to fit in the
thin.
Switch along with everything else.
Yeah, I get that, but like, you could theoretically have bundled it with like a SanDisk, like another 250 gigs, right?
Nintendo has their own brand of SanDisk that have like the little like Mario shapes on them, like the mushrooms or the stars or stuff. So I mean, I don't even know if they said anything about expandable. It does have expandable memory. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're going to keep pumping those out and hopefully selling you extra product. You know, it's all about those accessory sales.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of accessories, we now have a new camera. That is the dumbest looking camera I've ever seen, man.
I know. I heard people being like, they're bringing back the Kinect.
Not even that, dude. At least the Kinect was beefy. This looks like my toddler is going to run and snap it in half in a heartbeat, dude.
Yeah, it was very, I don't know, not a Nintendo looking accessory. Like, I would have pictured it would look more like the Alarmo than just like...
It looks like a microphone.
Yeah, it really does look like a microphone. Let's see, we got to see the Joy-Cons with the new C button at work. We got a full breakdown of the game chat, and everybody's saying, it is very Discord reminiscent. The thing that I can't believe people weren't expounding on more is just that it was a horrible showing of it. Like, my God, they turned on the video mode so you could watch your friends play at like 3 frames a second. Like, it was the laggiest, poorest presentation of a feature. And I don't even know why. Like, obviously they made it work, but like, did they really make it work in a way that anybody's ever going to want to use? Like, if I'm playing a game and talking to you, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool if I can look at your screen and you can look at my screen. if we're playing like the same game, you could kind of be playing a game together, sort of, but like maybe just a single player game together. I guess I don't know. Maybe having 4 players also makes it perform a lot worse than only having like 2 players. So it could potentially be better than what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can be. And I know we're not trying to go like 100% negative on every single thing that they showed. So, like, when we think about the voice chat capabilities, which are behind a paywall, mind you, of Nintendo Switch
That's
Online.
terrible.
Well, I mean, Sony's got well, no, Sony does have free to play games that are not behind a paywall. So I imagine Nintendo maybe might have that type of situation. But what I did like is that the microphone that's integrated into the console itself has a background noise cancellation setting, like automatic, right? So they gave the example of somebody blending food in the background and you're still able to hear clearly from a distance. So I thought that was actually a really cool feature of the audio capabilities, which was kind of nice. I'm sure it's not innovative, right? Like we have background and noise cancellation stuff on our program that we're using right now to record. So it's not like it's groundbreaking stuff, but I think it's pretty cool to have it integrated with the console itself. That wasn't something I was expecting from that. But I do agree with you. It was a little laggy when it came down to that voice chat and sharing the multiple screens. But another cool function is the together component, right? So if you have 4 people that are playing a game together, they can all use their own individual consoles. It reminded me of the GBA connection years ago on the GameCube when you could play games like the Final Fantasy title that was on GameCube and everybody had their
Crystal
own controller.
Chronicles.
Yeah, Crystal Chronicles. So
Well,
that's
and
actually
DS had a
pretty cool.
share feature too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You could play like Mario Kart with somebody else if they didn't have it, and you could just jump in. So, I mean, regardless, that's cool, right? Nobody has to have the game. You can have up to 4 people. You can play with them like in online mode, in person, with the same screen and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. So those are some nice features that they had, at least with the multiplayer and chat capabilities.
One thing that I will say, pretty much only negative things about, is the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It is so like just inconceivable to me that they would sell this as a digital only game. Like nobody, not enough people are nearly going to spend money on this to make it worth whatever you thought you would get back out of it. This should have been a pack-in thing, like that was like your cool version of a manual. Like this should have been like the fun Nintendo thing that came with the console. But the fact that they're just like money grubbing for it, like I hope they lose so much money on it. Like we were all dumbfounded when 1-2 Switch wasn't a pack-in title.
Well, same with Wii Party and the one that was on the Wii U that had mini games. Like all of those are just absolute cash grabs from Nintendo, and it's amazing that they get away with it.
Wii Sports was like the best thing they ever did. And I mean, they also put like Tetris with the Game Boy and like I mean, I guess bundling games in has been a long-standing thing, and they are doing a version where they're bundling in, Mario Kart World, but it's an extra cost. It's not like
It's
you can
cheaper
buy.
though, technically.
Yeah, I guess you are saving money, but it's digital only, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I guess we could jump right into that then. So Mario Kart World looked awesome. Like I definitely didn't expect Mario Kart going open world to be kind of the next gimmick for it, but I guess it makes a lot of sense, really. Forza did it and has had great success with that type of, open world driving around format. And Nintendo's great at making, worlds that are fun to explore with cool hidden things. So, I mean, as long as it's not just a bunch of like dead nothingness between you and the next race, and there's actual like cool things to go off the beaten path and find, Easter eggs, whatnot. I'm sure that they could load it up and make it really worthwhile. We didn't get, an over exhaustive look at it, but I think they're going to do another direct or something, they said, just about this one coming soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't
Yeah,
catch
April
that,
17th. They're going to do a Mario Kart World Direct. So we'll find out a whole lot more about the game at that time.
Now, kind of sticking in the game area, I mean, it's a $79.99 price point on that
Mm-hmm.
for that. I think so. Some of them are going to be like the digital release is going to be like 10, $20 cheaper than the physical release. The problem I have, though, is some of those physical releases that they're going to be putting out is like their key card. So I don't know if you
Yeah.
caught wind of that, but the key card is basically the download in box, which they do today on Switch, which is
Yeah.
I get it, right? The physical box. It's kind of similar to if you saw Apex Legends or something, or what's the other game? That's a gun game. I don't remember. But various games that they have the box already kind of set up, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll buy that for $30. I'll take it home, and it's basically DLC or like credits.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's abnormal.
They've got that white bar at the top with the
Yeah, and this one will
download.
have it on the bottom, and it's like download. So all it is pretty much like some of the game is on there, downloading the rest. For physical game collectors, that absolutely sucks, of course, when some of those games are going to be a download necessary type of thing. So that really does blow. But I do wonder, like, are those games going to be the same cost as digital? Or are they going to try and, because you're not getting the full game on the cart. So are they going to try and charge like 10, $20 more because they had to ship out a bunch of cases,
Yeah.
for basically a digital download game? So that's kind of lame in a sense. I wish they would have, if you're going to do the key card thing, just, I don't know, get somebody a card, like just sell it as a loose thing. Like you don't need the case and artwork and all that stuff. Like, why? It's not necessary, right? Like might as well
Yeah.
just do a download card on site. Um,
Let's talk a little bit about like the Switch 2 versions and upgrades, because that's going to
yeah.
be kind of a weird thing. Who knows, for the first couple of years, maybe they'll have that where they're still kind of releasing a Switch 1 version and a Switch 2 version. And then if you have one, you could, buy the upgrade to get to the Switch 2. I wonder how all that's going to work with, their recent reveal of the digital game cards. Like, can I play the Switch 1 version and buy the upgrade and then transfer that over to the other one or not? There's going to be a lot of weird stuff going on with these multiple editions of the games coming out and trying to actually see what's, I guess, worth spending the extra money on.
Well,
Like,
and is it going to be limited to say digital only, right? Because they can verify that you own the game versus like have owned a game, bought it at full price versus, oh, my friend loaned it to me and then I upgrade a digital version, right? Like, but in some instances, I think you have to have the original disc. Like if you had a PS4 version, for example, of a game and you upgrade to PS5, you have to physically have the PS4 version to be able to play the PS5 download, from what I remember.
yeah.
But so the games that they have, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby Forgotten Land, Pokemon ZA, when it's released, will have a Switch 2 version, as will
See,
Metroid Prime 4.
Those are Pokemon ZA. I don't know. Like, that game already looks like it's going to be mediocre. So maybe it's worth it to save $20 to not buy the really expensive version that still has paper buildings in it. And then Breath of the Wild was a great game, but Tears of the Kingdom is just so much better that, like, it's going to be hard to go back and play Breath of the Wild after that. And I just don't know how well that's really going to sell all over again.
Yeah, I mean, well, I haven't bought Breath of the Wild yet. So,
there you go.
So but I can get it cheaper on the Switch, right? So,
Can you?
yeah, like definitely.
Nintendo always holds its price, John.
No, new it's like $40 everywhere you go, and I can
Okay.
honestly get in the 20s. So it's been out for long enough, and I've got a copy on the Wii U technically.
Okay.
I'm not going to open that one, but still. Yeah. So I mean, they had a number of games that were announced as well. So Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is going to be on there. Hades 2.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. For some reason, watching that footage, it just didn't look as good as I thought it should.
Because it's on the Switch too.
Well, yeah, but it's still going to be like 120 frames a second, 4K. Like, how is that not spectacular? Like, it's supposed to be that good, but like watching that footage, it sure didn't really feel that way. So I'm going to be really interested to see Digital Foundry or somebody do some side by side, because like, I don't know if that's like looking better than what I experienced on my PS4.
Yeah, I played PS5, so I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, so Elden Ring, Hades 2, Super Street Fighter 6, Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, Split Fiction, EA Sports FC, Hitman, along with Project 007, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 with the SpongeBob teaser, Hogwarts Legacy. So I'm kind of interested in that, just primarily because it was really bad on the Switch, and now it's essentially getting a re-release on the Switch too. Madden 26. There's a lot more than I thought there was, so I'm not going to go through all
Yeah,
of them.
you don't have to go
but
through everything.
yeah, but the one that caught my attention is not very good, and you know which one I'm going to go with here was Drag X Drive, which is basically basketball and utilizing the mouse capability like a wheelchair. That to me, like the game itself, just does not look appealing. It's like they tried to do Rocket League, but with like that type of basketball. And so for me, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a Nintendo based game. That
Yeah,
one. And it's getting hype from them. Like it's this big deal. I'm like, this is bland. It doesn't look fun. And on top of that, it's kind of, it's putting like this light feeling on disabilities as like this fun experience. And it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't vibe for me, man.
yeah. My biggest issue with it was just that it looks like something from like an Xbox Live arcade game. It doesn't feel Nintendo. It's so dark and drab and just like visually not appealing. I think they really should have done some more to like spiff this up, put a Nintendo coat of paint on it and make it look like something people would want to play.
Yeah, right now it is not. And and I guess if you were in that situation, like, are you going to want to play that, or are you going to want to play real basketball? Right? Like it doesn't make sense to me like why you would even attempt that. So definitely not one that was appealing. But what was the Dusk Bloods. That to me, I thought at first when I saw that trailer that we were getting Bloodborne ported over to Switch 2.
Or some crazy universe where Bloodborne 2 was a Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah, but it was just, it reeked Bloodborne for me. And then of course Dusk Bloods. So I don't think that's a Switch exclusive. It would be kind of dumb if it was, considering it's a new launch. But that said, that looked pretty cool. It's, it could be multiplayer, like mass multiplayer type game.
Well,
That's what
the
I got
thing
from
I
it.
don't understand is like, wait, they've got that and they've got Night Rain, like both coming out. Like that's pretty crazy that these are both kind of like, I mean, this doesn't look exactly like what Night Rain is, but I mean, it does give that kind of like multiplayer, character kit type RPG light, So I'm not sure, but definitely interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah, and then Ryan is definitely interested to see Donkey Kong in pants. I know that.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know why they put pants on him. And I googled it after the Switch show was over, and it was like it's to give you the feel that he's more of a minor, like it's obvious minor attire. And I'm like, is it? There's a lot of bare-chested pants wearing with suspenders minors out there.
Have you been to West Virginia? Come on now.
Dude,
Maybe.
give him a pickaxe. That's what minors do. Like, I don't know. Donkey Kong wearing pants, and this was something else that was in the search that I saw. So if he's wearing pants here, that means he knows what they're for and deliberately has chosen not to wear pants the entire history up until now. So what does that say about him?
What did he wear the whole time?
Just a tie.
Did he really?
I
just never noticed that. Here,
Donkey Kong's like your favorite game, John.
I don't pay attention to his
pants.
I don't pay attention to him and his crotch. Come on now, or his butt. Oh yeah, you're right. He is naked all the time. So is Diddy. Is Diddy Kong gonna have pants?
No, Diddy Kong only wears a shirt and no pants.
No, what I'm
They're
saying,
pantsless society.
But will he have pants? That's the question. What about Dixie Kong?
Dixie Kong has pants.
Okay, well, I was just
actually, I think all the Lady Kongs have pants.
Well, see, now that's just sexist. No, Dixie Kong does not have pants. She has a shirt, and it has a little tie on it.
Does she have
And
overalls?
no, sir, she has no pants. What about Cranky Kong? Has he at least had the decency of wearing pants? You have just
No,
opened up a
the
whole new thing for me.
Tiny Kong.
Tiny Kong.
Yeah, Tiny Kong from DK64 has pants. And so does Candy Kong has pants.
Okay, but Dixie Kong does not. I know for sure that. Let's see if Swanky Kong, I think, has pants. Hold on. If he does
We've
not,
derailed this.
we have. Dude, Swanky Kong has pants, so all is okay in the world. Original versions did not have pants, but he does wear pants, so we're good. And he does have the decency in Donkey Kong Country 3 to be in a barrel, so he does use barrel pants. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Oh, Funky has shorts.
Oh, there you go. So some of the Donkey Kong family does not like pants, and the other part does. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so I mean that looked like a pretty cool game. Pants aside, being able to like punch into the ground, like, and it looks like the whole world is like has destructible elements to it. That seems like it'll be a really cool kind of new thing for Donkey Kong. And I mean, this could be like the the Mario Odyssey until we get whatever the new Mario game is, which I'm actually really surprised we did not see like a new Mario game here.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think that's something that Nintendo's probably holding out on as a future system seller. And
I think they're gonna wait until the next movie.
Well,
Build hype with it.
No, and actually, look, this Dusk Bloods is actually exclusive to Nintendo Switch.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But no, I mean, they're going to be selling Drag X Drive will be their console seller apparently, and Pokemon Legends ZA along with the new Mario Kart and Metroid Prime 4. I mean, those are really going to be their system sellers. You do have that Zelda. What is it?
Age of new Zelda,
Hyrule Warriors, Age of
Hyrule
Imprisonment.
Warriors. Bleh.
Yeah,
Not
like
for
that
those
prequel.
games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of them, but I mean, it can be a system seller, especially if it's exclusive to the console.
Air Riders. That is where it's going to be at. I'm very excited for that. I really liked Kirby Air Ride. So getting another one of those is not something I thought we would see, but like, I mean, Sakurai did like post out, that there was going to be, people thought he was, kind of saying that he was going to have something there without actually saying anything. And so seeing the addition to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is actually kind of interesting that Nintendo is doing some more like DLC kind of re-releases, like how they did the what was it, the Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, kind of tacking on that whole other part and re-releasing a game. So I'm wondering if there will be other games that we see, that obviously this is just the opening salvo. Obviously there's 8 years of Switch games that they can go back and re-release this with some updates and some new content, stapled onto the side of it.
Well, the Super Mario Party Jamboree has Jamboree TV. That's a new addition as far as I know. So,
which looks super dumb. Like,
yeah,
you're playing with like your body and your head like it's the PS TV.
Well, and then like the mic activation for some stuff, using the mouse for like, I don't know, like some of that stuff's a little too gimmicky for me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's kids that'll enjoy it. That's fine. But for me, it's not. I hope there's the ability to turn that off when you play, and it'll say like, "Are you planning on use a mouse?" Or like, "Can you shut certain mini games off?" I imagine yes.
Well,
I don't think that'll be an issue.
My other thing, I guess, is like, how many kids are getting a $450 Switch?
All
I just saw a thing recently about how kids don't even want a PS5. Like,
well, they want their mobile phones.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like now that the Switch is like, $500+ once you throw a game in with it, that's a lot of money. That's like huge. So I don't know that the price is really going to carry on super well if people don't have that much money to blow on it.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, 80, $90 for a game right now. Like when you start factoring in inflation, like what it was in the 90s, it makes sense that we're at this point. But yeah, it's going to be pricey. And I do wonder if like the new tariffs and things kind of going into effect is something that was considered in the price point. But here's the thing, even after several years, the price is going to stay the same.
Yeah.
If those tariffs
Switch
are,
has never had a price drop, right?
I think it has.
Like they
They've
might
had
do a sale once in a while, but like I don't think that it's like actually gone down, has it?
I don't know. I haven't needed to look. Yeah, the OLED that came out. So I mean, there's that. But here's the thing. Like, even if let's just say tomorrow they're like, oh yeah, there's no tariffs on electronics coming out of Japan, right? They're not going to change the price. It's not going to drop. They're going to maintain the same price point. Same with their games. And those games are digital, right? So it's not like they're shipping a whole bunch of them over here, anyways. And a lot of them are manufactured. Well, a lot of them are manufactured in Mexico, actually, if you think about it. So it could be part of a reason. I don't know. Uh, Anything else that we did not cover here? The Joy-Con's going to have bigger joysticks. It'll have bigger, I think, L and R buttons or whatever it is on top,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of nice. The magnets, of course, we already knew about that. We talked about the camera. Don't need to go into the Pro controller. It's just a Pro controller. We talked games. We talked the key card components. So I
Yeah,
think we,
Switch has never had a price drop. It's
yeah.
launched at $299. It's still $299 on Best Buy.
Oh, see, Nintendo, four of the people
See,
apparently.
that's another thing too. Is like consoles just went up. Like, didn't they just raise the price of the PS5 by like
Yeah.
$50 in all the other countries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
So
did.
it's
I don't know if that's
not
the
the
exact
same
number,
world
but
that it used to be in, where it's like, hey, I'll get a PS2 2 years later for half the price with half the size of the console and a game, and save a bunch of money and have a way better experience. It doesn't work that way anymore.
yeah. I mean, like you said, it's just a world that we're in right now. Consoles, electronics, all that stuff is definitely going up in price regardless of it. Um, you got to factor in inflation and tariffs and just where the world economy is, and that's how we end up with higher pricing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's about right. Like I said, I wasn't exactly surprised at the price point. Some people might have been, but it seemed to me based on like we wanted them to release a more. I guess I could be surprised, right? Because a lot of what they're doing is technically, was already with like the PS4 Pro. So it's not like we're getting a ton of crazy features that we wouldn't be getting with like that console
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like graphics and things. I guess the 120 frames per second processors, that type of stuff's probably higher price point than what it was back then, but still, without starting to dig into all of the like specs, I guess it could be surprising. Maybe 400 realistically would have been a better price point. So,
Yeah, we'll see more about the Switch 2, as we get closer to that June release, and
hmm
learn a lot more about the games between now and then. But I'm super excited. It's definitely something that I'm gonna pick up as soon as I'm able. So hopefully it doesn't get scalped all to hell and become impossible to find. I mean, I was actually able to get like a launch Switch. I mean, not like launch Switch, but like I think I got it within like the first 3 months of launch. Like I still have one of the old ones that you could stick a paperclip in to hack, but
nice.
hopefully the Switch 2 will be something abundant.
I will be holding off for some time. It's not something that I am like eagerly awaiting to pick up. I do have a ton of other games I need to play. So the last thing I need to do is add a Nintendo Switch 2 to the collection. I'll honestly probably wait a year or so before I pick one up. And
That's what
at
I
that
said about
point,
the PS5 5 years ago.
that's a good point. Yeah. No, I will pick up a Switch 2 at some point, but I'm going to, I want to see like what games are compatible to Switch 1. Um, can I get a discounted rate by just picking it up on like a Black Friday after a year? Other things, right? Used video games locally, people will be willing to sell their stuff for like $60 versus like 80. So there's a number of factors that I can kind of consider down the road when it comes to buying a Switch too. But as of right now, I just have tons of games. I'm gonna struggle to get my new games resolution done this year.
You know,
So yeah.
you just made me think of something, John.
Hmm.
If the Switch 2 games are more expensive, right, is the resale on the secondhand market, knowing that they were inherently more expensive to begin with, going to make those games sell for more, and in comparison make older games sell for more?
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, I don't know, if the new Mario game comes out and it's just as good as Odyssey was, like, is there any reason that, like, as a secondary market seller, you shouldn't sell your Odyssey 1 for the same price as, like, the Odyssey 2? If that
No.
Odyssey 2 is going to be inherently that much more expensive just because Nintendo said so at retail?
No, and I'll tell you in a second. Mario Odyssey sales history. Mario Odyssey has sold 29 million copies as of last December. So, I mean, you have 29 million copies floating around.
There's
On
just a
that game.
bajillion of that. That's a bad example game.
Yeah, but I mean, like any of them, right? Like maybe
Yeah.
some games like Demon X Machina, that's one that might go up.
Should have bought that game.
Yeah,
Never
like
did.
I picked up. Well, I don't have it on me, but like
I'm actually kind of surprised that got announced with a sequel.
Yeah, me too. Astral Chain was the one I picked up recently for like $35. That game has not really gone down too much in price, and I can
I
anticipate
wonder
that
if that'll
one to go
get
up.
a sequel. That was pretty well received.
Yeah, which is interesting because it probably won't. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to see Switch 2 games go up in price anytime soon. You might see Wii U games that are exclusive, like only on that console, go up, which they already have. Maybe some Wii exclusives, but for the most part, I don't see Switch exclusives going up at least until another generation. Like after this generation, I'll see those going up, but not right now. I think you're going to be able to get Switch 2 games at like a pretty steep discount, like Switch 1 games at a discount. So
cool.
Now's the time to actually purchase Switch games that you've wanted to purchase for a long time.
Like, you hear that, Barry?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we talked all that we can on the Switch 2 without going too overboard, even though we probably did. But all of that said, we will have a new episode coming out on Sunday. We did just have Jim from Crit HitCon and Game On Expo on our most recent episode that came out Monday, so go ahead and check out that as well. But until then, this has been episode 335, special midweek release of the Game Deflators Podcast. My name is John.
I'm Ryan.
And thanks for listening.